Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to BYJU'S exam prep. My name is Naveen, and today I'll be taking you through a very important lesson. Many of you would be thinking that should you go after an offline coaching or an online coaching for CAT? So today we're going to discuss that in depth as to which one is better and in which scenario you should actually choose online over offline and vice versa. So good afternoon, everyone. So, what is the major difference between online and offline, right? So, I have put these differences or similarities in some points, and we are going to discuss about each and every point, and you can let me know in the chat if you agree to this. Okay. So, the first thing that happens when you join an offline coaching is either you go to a center, either you go to a place where whichever faculty you are available, whichever faculty is available, and whatever course curriculum or whichever batch is happening, you are supposed to enroll over there, right? But when it happens to be online coaching, you can be sitting far away from the actual center, and the best of the faculties are going to teach you. Now, that comes with a heavy price if you really want to learn from the best of the faculties. What you will have to do is go to that particular city or town and get enrolled with the batch, whichever is currently running then, and that's when you get to learn from them. If you are in a hurry or if the time is short, you may end up learning from the faculty which is not up to the mark that you wished. Also, many are times those premium batches, they come with a heavy price. While in the case of online coaching, that's not the scenario, right? So all the batches are priced the same, and all the batches have the same faculty. So there is no discrepancy whether you are a very brilliant student or whether you are an average or below average student. So when it comes to the industry-based learning from the faculties, I believe the online here gets a plus point. Okay, so what I will do is, in the meantime, I'm going to hide myself so that you guys can look into it. Hi, Rishi. Yeah, thank you. Now, the next point is self-discipline. Now, you must have been disciplined by your parents or your elder siblings or your teachers or your relatives since you have been a kid. That has went on for almost 16, 17 initial years of your life. So, but when it comes to self-discipline, which is going to happen right when you enter an MBA college, there is nobody, nagging behind you to study or when to study and how much to study. That's going to be completely your decision. Even people who are day scholars, they tend to, get to know from the parents or the relatives as to, when is the right time to study, how much to study. And then in the college, if you are in a hostel environment, your friends and your peers tell you when to study and what to study, right? So self-discipline is a very, very important thing when it comes to management exams, because right after you clear your CAT exam, and when you get into the college, from the very first day, you have to be self-disciplined. Now, that self-discipline is not going to happen in a day's time. It takes sometimes months and sometimes years to get into the habit of self-discipline. Not letting anyone wake you up. You put your own alarm and you wake up at that time. You study for the duration that you decided, and then you move on with your daily chores. So self-discipline is very, very important. Now, when you're studying in the offline mode, you are obviously, you tend to be more casual about it, because then you have, you have got a lot of things that are already lined up, right? Your college or maybe your work, maybe a get together with your friends. So because of that sequence or that timeline, you don't get to be self-disciplined, but that's how your schedule turns out to be. And on any given day, if you do not have work or college, we generally, lay around and we do nothing. But if you go for an online coaching, you have ample time left with you, right? There are going to be many reasons. You don't have to travel, so the travel time is saved. All you have to do is sit with your camera on or off, depending upon the batches or the place where you have chosen to join. And since you have more time, so you need to discipline yourself as to how many hours you need to put in and for study and for other activities, right? So when it comes to self-discipline, I truly believe, again, online coaching gets a higher weightage. It is much better if you go for online coaching. The third point, flexible environment. Now, suppose if you have to go through your homework and if you have to work on the project that is given by your employer, or whether you are not feeling well, whether you have, maybe met with an accident and you can't really travel. So in those scenarios, going for offline coaching means missing out on sessions, right? Now that is going to be very, very pricey. Reason being, you have paid so much and you won't be able to go to the institute, and you will miss out on sessions which are not available to you. So the environment that you get in the case of online is you can be seated at the comfort of your home with a coffee in your hand, with the comfort of AC, not traveling anywhere, not being sick, or even if you are ill, you can still attend the sessions. So in the case of online coaching, you get a lot of flexible environment, right? Of course, this is a double-edged sword when it comes to flexible environment that we are going to discuss. So online coaching for CAT or any other entrance exam, I again truly believe that flexible environment is very, very important, along with self-discipline. And coupled with these two, when you get the industry best faculties to teach you, that's definitely going to be helpful. The next is you get to be more open and interactive. Now, as per the study, at least 1 out of every 5 student, or 1 out of every 5 person is very shy or introvert. So in a setting of a lot of students or a lot of people around, they really do not open up and they do not really know what to speak, when to speak, how to speak, right? Now, when it comes to online coaching, you are actually a keyboard warrior. You can write whatever doubt you have, you can express yourself. Nobody is going to judge you on that, and you do not have to be shy about it. So it tends to open you to a lot of, in a lot of extent, right? So open and interactiveness is something that where, again, online coaching is definitely going to help. The next one is the collaboration. Now, collaboration means with your peers, with the other aspirants with the similar goal. So when you go for online coaching, you can actually be sitting at your home along with, let's say, 10 of your friends, without getting to worry about at what time you should be meeting to collaborate, to study in a group, to discuss doubts. You can do all of that when it comes to online coaching. When it comes to offline coaching, the face-to-face interaction is going to be there. There is a reason why full-time course and the proper residential programs in an MBA is very important, because that face-to-face interaction is very, very important. So when it comes to the online versus offline, when it comes to collaboration, of course, there is almost the same pros and cons. The pros in the case of online being you tend to decide your own time. You can be sitting together with your friends at 10 o'clock, which you can't do in the case of offline scenario. And you can also sit with 20 people simultaneously and discuss everything, the doubts or the concepts, the questions, the queries, right? So those are the pros. But when it comes to offline, the face-to-face interaction is something nothing else can beat it. And that is very important as a personal growth and when it comes to intellectual growth of a person. So when it comes to collaboration, I think that they are going to be approximately of same importance when it comes to online versus offline. Okay. Of course, the number of pros for online is more, but the single pros for offline is, it has got so much weightage that offline kind of equals with the online coaching here. I'm taking BYJU'S classes since October. One of the best advantages of online coaching is ample time and number of mocks and test series where you can practice and learn slow and steady. Right, Rishi? That is so true. Online is not a luxury but a necessity in my current scenario while attending college as well. True. So both of you are true, Rishi and Pratyush. See, if you actually evaluate your life before pandemic and right now, since pandemic and right now, you will realize, if you actually sit down and calculate, you will realize that the amount of time, the number of hours you actually save while being in an online coaching is a lot. And because of that reason, you are able to invest, whether be it your hobby, whether be it the revision, whether it be more studies, whether it be binge watching series. So you save time. When you are going to college, you travel, then from college to back to home, or maybe directly to the institute, coaching institute. So that's again another travel, and then you come back. The travel itself tires you so much that it becomes very difficult to come back at home at 8 o'clock at night, have your dinner, and then try to study for another couple of hours, right? So the only time you get to do that is when you do not have coaching on a particular day, or maybe on weekends if you have not joined a weekend program, right? So I completely agree with both of you. That is so true. The next is affordability. Now, since I'm from the industry, I have pretty good knowledge about the pricing of the programs. Now, an offline program is at least 2 times of an online program when it comes to cost. You guys will have no idea, because maybe last year or a year before that, you guys have come into this scenario and been studying with coaching institutes. But let me tell you, before 2020, actually a little before mid of 2019, the pricing was at least 2x of your offline coaching as compared to your online coaching. So agar abhi offline coaching, online coaching costs you, let's say 35-40,000, the online similar coaching used to cost you somewhere between 75,000 to a lakh. Why? Because the companies who are providing you the online coaching, they definitely do not have to spend so much time in a lot of things. The entire operations, the payment of the rent of the estates, the buildings, the rooms, the faculties do not have to travel, so the reimbursement cost goes down. So there are a lot of costs that goes down for the company. So company is like, we really do not need that high of the pricing. So if you try to go for an offline coaching, you will soon very quickly realize that how the price increases. So this is very, very much affordable when it comes to online coaching. Okay. So again, online coaching here wins. The next ones, personalized programs. Now, if you go to an offline coaching, there is a teacher, right? You're studying for CAT. The teacher will be teaching you the things, and those is all you have got, and those are the only programs you have got. Well, the teacher teaching you the same thing is there in the online scenario also, but you do have a lot of variants because teachers have got ample time. You know, sitting at one place and taking sessions back to back for 6 hours or 8 hours. Reason being, they don't have to travel. So like students don't get tired, the teachers don't get tired, and they have to sit and teach. So that is also another thing. We don't have to stand for 6 hours, 8 hours, which is very, very tiring. And that's, 5 or 6 days in a week. It becomes very difficult. So since teachers have ample time, so you have got more curated programs. Okay. The doubts that you can send. So let's say I get 20-22 out dots every day on an average. So I'm able to solve all of those. But when a teacher goes to a classroom, it becomes very difficult for a teacher to attend those many doubts in the time frame that he or she has, right? उनके पास इतना समय नहीं होता है, क्लास के बाद दूसरी क्लास होती है, तो वहां पर टाइम लॉस हो जाता है. In the case of online, since you guys have been our students, so you know that through the app you can send our doubts, and within a stipulated time we are supposed to get back to you with the solution, right? So it's not very interactive, but everything is explained there, right? Okay. So the program gets very personalized when it comes to online coaching. In the case of offline, not so much. So when it comes to personalized component of coaching, online again gets a plus mark. Okay, so far online has been winning. The next one is economical. Apart from the cost of the program, the other thing that you have to take into account is the amount of books you will have to buy, the amount of revision books that you have to buy, the amount of money that you have to spend, to get your doubts clear every time you have to go to the coaching because you have got tons of doubts piled up. So those pricing becomes nil when it comes to online, because everything you have got is in a soft format, as in a soft copy of all the class handouts, all the class PDFs, all the mocks, right? All the books. Even if we have provided you with 4 books related to quant, LRDI, and verbal reasoning, VRC. So those books can still be discussed and the doubts can be discussed with the faculty, right? But had this been an offline scenario, for every doubt that you have to wait for the next day whenever you're going to have that session. It may be the very next day, it may be next week, and wait until your doubt gets over. Right now, the moment you have a doubt, you send it across, right? So it becomes very, very economical when it comes to online again. Okay, so the next one is variety. Variety as in you can choose which all subjects you want to study, and you can also choose the exams that you want to give. For example, we have batches specifically for CAT, we have got batches specifically for non-CAT as MHCET, CMAT, right? If somebody is willing to go for programs which is GMAT, we have got a different batch. So you can study these exam-wise syllabus online one by one, because you can choose the timing and the days of a batch. So if you choose 2 batches where it happens to be there is a 1 hour gap between 2 sessions of 2 different exams, you don't mind it, right? But if you go in the offline case, you have to make sure that, suppose your CAT program is happening on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and your GMAT program is happening on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So that means 6 days a week you have to travel, and you will have not ample time to actually revise anything. Well, in the case of online, you can do all of that. You have got tons of varieties and options to choose from, and as per your convenience of timing. The place is your home, your room. Okay. The next one is technology assist, right? So I'm going to help you with technology assist by giving you an example in some time. So as a teacher, I can explain things using technology, using my laptop, using the pen and tablet that I have in a much easier way as compared to what I would be doing that in the case of a blackboard or a whiteboard. Okay. In the blackboard or whiteboard, I cannot do animation. So all the animations that you see, you understand, you see. So visual appealing it is, so it becomes interesting. It becomes easy to understand. In the case of a blackboard or a whiteboard scenario, that appeal is lost. That interest is lost, right? So from the faculty, from a teacher's perspective, teaching you a lot of concepts related to CAT is very easy, it's very smooth, it's very easy to understand from the student's perspective as well, as it is easy for a teacher to explain. So here again, online programs, the online coaching for CAT, it gets the upper hand. The next is accessibility. So like I have said before, you can watch the lessons wherever you are, whenever you are, everything is recorded. You can watch it 10 times. But when you go to an offline coaching, when the teacher is explaining you something, and once that particular portion is done, you do not have anything to go back to rather than your memory or the notes that you may have drawn. And a lot of students, they have a habit of writing down the notes. So when the teacher is explaining, they are not actually listening or trying to understand what the teacher is telling you, but rather the notes, so that you can look into the notes and understand later. So double-edged sword, you have something written with you so that you can revise later on as many times, but at the moment you're not able to understand. So if there is going to be any doubt, you can't clear it. Well, in the case of online coaching for CAT, you can watch a video unlimited number of times. So, right, there is no restriction. You can watch a lesson as many times. You can pause whenever a question is given, you can solve it. You can re-listen to a statement said by the teacher the very first time you did not understand, and you can replay that part 10 times. But doing that in the case of an an offline coaching scenario, you can't ask your teacher to repeat the sentence 10 times because you're not able to grasp it at the same moment. So the accessibility and the amount of information and the way you can understand it, you can take it, it improves manifold when it comes to online. So this is another plus point when it comes to online versus offline. The next one is travel time and cost. Time, extremely important, right? So I remember in 2000 up to 2019, I have had students who used to come way back, way from Meerut or outer Gurgaon, or a couple of them used to come for weekend batches from Lucknow. Why? Are there no coaching institutes there? There are, but they wanted to teach, they wanted to learn from the best of the faculties available, right? So traveling for 6 hours, 5.5 hours every weekend so that you can learn from the best. So that time that is lost while traveling and the exertion you have and the cost, if you include everything, it increases dramatically, and your efficiency decreases drastically. So the entire weekend is just travel and attending sessions, no revision, nothing. If you are traveling in a train, if you're not driving it by yourself, so you can study for those 4-5 hours, but how much can you study in a train in a crowded place, right? So travel time and cost, again, it is minimized by a huge extent when it comes to online coaching, right? Now, I would like everyone, whoever are currently present, to try to solve this. If A takes 10 seconds to complete a circular racetrack and B takes 4 seconds to complete the same track, at how many distinct points on the track will they meet for a never-ending race? So this is a time, speed, distance question based on circular races concept. So how would you solve this? So I will give you guys a minute or a minute and a half and see if any one of you can come up with an explanation, or not an explanation, just the answer. That will also do. Anyone? Okay, let's say so if A takes 10 seconds to complete a circular racetrack and B takes 4 seconds to complete the same track, and how many distinct points on the track will they meet for a never-ending race? Actually, this is an answer which takes hardly 15 seconds because the answer is right there hidden in the question itself. So you read the question, by the time you finish it, you know the answer. But how would we come to that 15-second solution? So it all starts from here, that if you have a circular racetrack, right? Suppose this is where they start from. So let's call this as the starting point, right? If A takes 10 seconds and B takes 4 seconds, then the number of times they are going to meet, okay, is going to be the ratio of these two times that are given to complete the same length, which is 10:4, which when simplified will become 5:2. And then you take the difference of these two proportions, 5 and 2, and you get they meet 3 times. Now, since it's a racetrack, since it's a race, right? It's understood that they will be moving in the same direction. Sometimes they will explicitly tell you that the people are running in the same direction. So they are going to meet at not three times, they are going to meet at 3 distinct points. Okay, and those 3 distinct points are going to be completely symmetrical. So this point is going to be A, this point is going to be B, and let's say this point is going to be C. So this is the first part, right? The answer is done. The answer is 3. Now, if the question arises as to which was the first meeting point, which one is the second meeting point, and so on, Which one is the third meeting point? So B is your first meeting point, C is your first meeting point, A is your third meeting point. What is the order, right? So for that, what you do is you take this 2 and count like this, 1, 2. So if you start from starting point A and if you move 2 arc lengths between AB and BC, so AB is called 1 arc length or 1 segment. So if you move 2 segments, the point that you stop is going to be your first meeting point. Then what you do, once you have got your first meeting point, then you again count from that new point C, again 2 segments. So you choose this smaller proportion. You can choose 5 also, but it will be wastage of time. So if I start from 2 segments AB and BC will take you to C. Next, CA and AB will take you to B. And again, another 2 segments. From B, count 2 segments. So BC and CA will take you to A. Once you reach the starting point, all you have to do is repeat this order. And this is how they're going to keep on meeting at these 3 points in distinct order. These are the only 3 points where they will be meeting. There is no other point on the track they will ever meet, right? Now, you can understand that in order to explain to you this solution, it took me a lot of time. And many of you would still be thinking as to why did this happen? Why did it work out? ये क्वेश्चन अभी भी मैंने डिस्कस नहीं कर रहा है. So in order to make you understand the concept, I'll take another 20 minutes, right? So in order to explain you the concept and solve a question, you know, we lose around 25 minutes if we do not have the animation. Suppose if I want to explain to you the same concept, the same question, but using animation so that you guys can actually see what happens. So what I have done is I have taken blue color for A, who takes 10 seconds, and red color for B, who takes 4 seconds to complete the same circular track. Now, what we will do is we will draw a circular track. There is going to be A. He is going to go around the track in 10 seconds. Okay. And then I will take B, who is going to be red guy. You can't see both of them because they're at the same point superimposed, right? So this is the starting point for them, this point. And B is going to take 4 seconds to take the go through the entire track. You can actually look at the clock that you have and see. So that's how the animation is made, exactly what it is given in the question. Now, if I let them rest, please see at how many points do they meet. So red has just covered its first lap. It catches blue from behind, and this is the first point they meet. Red moves ahead, blue is still going back, and red meets blue for the second time over here. Red is still ahead, it tries to catch up with blue, and it catches up with blue directly again at starting point. Once starting point is done, the same movie gets repeated. It's not a new movie. वही चलते रहेगा. So if I give you like a minute to actually look at this, you will realize that if I call this point as A, this point as B, and this point as C, the first time right after they start from the starting point, C is the point they just met. That is the first meeting point. Then they meet at B, and then they are going to meet at A. अब फिर से रेस शुरू हो गया, समझ लो, फिर से स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट से. Now again red catches up with blue again at C. Red moves ahead, comes from behind, catches up with blue at B. Red moves ahead, catches up blue from behind, meets again blue at A. So when you see things in action, it becomes so easy to understand. Now, this is what I was talking about interactiveness before. So do you really think in the offline mode, it will be easy for any teacher to actually explain how things are happening, because everything is 2D drawn. There is no animation of the on the whiteboard or the blackboard, right? So it becomes very difficult to make students see what they're trying to tell you. It's just like reading biology. You look at the drawing, or you look at a photograph, you look at the dissection of a frog, and there are a lot of tiny organs over there, and they are just pointed at this is the heart, this is the lungs, this is the intestine, this is the liver, and all of that. Unless and until you don't actually do the practical, you will have no idea about it. So that's the difference it makes. So this is more like a practical. Rather than actually letting two people run around a circular track, this is the best way to explain it and the best, easiest way to understand it. Okay, so I hope you guys clearly understood that online is definitely online coaching for CAT is definitely much better than the offline coaching, right? It's definitely better. So you have got tons of pros when it comes to online as compared to cons, and offline pros are very less. Cons are relatively same. Okay. So if you want to really go through the way we teach over here at BYJU'S and get to be one of these CAT 2020-2022 toppers, we have got Vinayak, Sarojit, Smarth, and Vidhi and Puval. And we have got tons and tons of other students who have scored more than 99+ percentile. So these are among our toppers. And these all have been our classroom programs. These are not our random students. These are the students that we actually taught. Okay. So if you want to join the list, you can join our CAT 2023 program, which is going to start. We are going to start a new batch very soon. In the program, you get a tablet in which you can watch hundreds and hundreds of hours of engaging videos. Okay, you get a live classroom program, which is different from the hours of sessions, where you get more than 200 hours of sessions taught to you, concept, the application, the problem solving, discussion of previous year questions, all of that. We also provide you with more than 75 mocks, with more than 50 CAT mocks and tests. Okay, we provide you with more than 10,000 questions. You get another more than 300 engaging videos related to analysis of exams and the discussion of previous year papers, the discussion on the expected paper for all the exams. We also provide you with unlimited number of doubts you can send. You can get in touch with the teacher. 24/7 availability is there. You can also be assisted in your GDPI and VAT preparation once you get a call from the college. So we help you with a lot of live as well as recorded lectures to help you build your resume, to help you answer the questions that are asked in the exams about polity, economics, and whatnot. You also get 4 books with more than 5 years of previous year questions. So if you are really interested, you can join the batch and the link to that is given in the description below. And in order to join that batch, you can avail up to 90% scholarship. This scholarship is going to be held on 1st of April at 7 p.m. So make sure that you register for that. The link to this is also given in the description below. More than 27,000 students have won worth more than 1 crore rupee of scholarship from us. On 4th of April at 7 p.m, Mr. Cyril is going to discuss another topic, which is very critical one, as to how to manage CAT prep with jobs and studies, which I believe most of you would be struggling with, right? Because you have to study for the classes before the classes, then you have got classes, after the classes you need to revise, solve tons of questions, then you have got college or work. So how do you manage all of that? So he's going to help you with all of that. Make sure you join this session. The seats are limited. It's going to be based on first come, first serve. So don't forget the timing, 4th of April at 7 p.m. by Mr. Cyril. You can download our app. The link to that is given in the description below. And you can attempt our daily section-wise quiz, which are concept as well as problem solving based. Right? This quiz is not the test or the types of questions you expect in the exam exactly. Some of the questions are going to be like that. Some of them are going to be concept based. So your concepts get brushed up regularly if you keep on attending these section-wise quiz every day. So it happens every day. No charges for any of this. All you have to do is download our app and start. KM, the way I'm telling you everything, where I can write it, whatever I'm writing, you can see it, I can erase it, I can add a slide. All the things that you right now see, because it's on YouTube, you really can't download it, but all the PDFs that we use, you can download it with the faculty annotations and everything. You also have an answer key which is separate. You get the PDFs of the class sheets before the session starts, and doubt solving happens whenever you want to send doubts. So if you are learning something, let's say 11 o'clock at night, okay, and you see a doubt, you take a screenshot of it on the app, you send it, we receive it, and we have got a time limit. Within that, we need to reply with the solution, and you get your solution much sooner. Sometimes you get it within a couple of hours. If you're going to send it at 11 o'clock, sometimes you will get it at 4 o'clock in the morning, depending upon which faculty is available, not asleep. That faculty will see it and send you. If you want the doubt to be solved from a particular faculty, you can even choose that. So you have got all those privileges. So doubt solving is there 100%. Well, thank you everyone. Thank you for joining. In case you haven't liked the video, please make sure that you like this session. And don't forget to subscribe us on YouTube. You can follow us on Instagram, and you can like our Facebook page as well. You can join our Telegram channel, which is BYJU'S Exam Prep for MBA, and you can download our app for free from Google Play. All of this is given in the description below. All you have to do is click on it. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for joining. I'll see you soon. Until then, take care.